Going on, y'all? How's your guys' day go? My day's good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're having a good day. I just got done recording for 17 minutes, and I didn't have my mic on because I went to go to the bathroom to fix my hair. I turned it off to save battery. So I apologize if this video is a little short. I don't know if I'll be able to remember everything that I had said. Because I usually do these videos just off the dome. I'll just freestyle them. I, think about something that I want to talk about, and I just talk. And then I went to go re-record, and I had a timer set for my laundry, and so the timer stopped the video. So try again. Third time's the charm, as they always say. But I just wanted to talk about an experience that I see a lot of people have. And it's sad because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. And it's basically when someone or something happens to you and you don't know why, but specifically the frustration that comes from not knowing why, right? Like, yeah, obviously you might be able to find videos that talk about that, but I don't think that we often talk about where that comes from, where the, like, why is it that we do that, where we wonder why. And, like, I guess not like advice or a solution, but just a way in which to think about it. Basically, the best articulation, or I don't even know if that's how you say that, the best way that I've heard it been articulated is a video I saw not too long ago, and it was beautifully articulated. I wish I remember who the guy was, but he had said, being right doesn't save you from the consequences of someone being wrong. And that's perfect. And I myself have wondered, the same thing, like why, and I used to be frustrated all the time, and I slowly came to terms with it, but I've never heard it been articulated so perfectly. And that's always such an awesome feeling. I love that feeling when you finally figure out how to articulate something you've been thinking or feeling forever. And so I just wanted to come on here and you guys kind of talk about it in general, nothing too specific. But basically, it's sad because I think that there are a lot of preconceived assumptions and a lot of notions, I guess, that are not always, how would I say, like on your mind, right? Like there are things that you know, but you forget that you know those things and you have to be reminded of them. And I used to be that way, where I knew why people are the way they are, and yet I would still get frustrated, and I had to remind myself a lot. Because, at least I think that the main thing that we forget is that there are often times in life where you do everything the right way, or the right way, I should say, because truth doesn't grant you immunity, but you do everything the best that you can, and you still fail, you still lose, and that's life, right? It's basically the same thing that, I forget who, there was a character in The Office, they said the same thing. They were talking to this other character, and they were like, sometimes you lose in life and there's nothing you can do about it, or rather, you do everything you can and you still lose. That's just the way that life is. And that might be a little bit more of a pessimistic viewpoint, as opposed to the other phrase I gave about being right and not being saved from the consequences of being wrong. But instead, it's more so like there's a couple of ideas I think that we forget, and it would be the phrase that I said, and then you really only have yourself at the end of the day. I think that we forget that, and I think that phrase or mentality is used more of like a tough guy kind of thing. Oh, it's only you at the end of the day, man. You only got yourself. And don't get me wrong, that is true, but I think that it should be viewed more so as like there's only so much you can do, despite the fact that you might be very close to people. Because it's very easy to convince ourselves that whether it be a family member, a loved one, a friend, that you expect things to be a certain way, and you do everything you're supposed to do, and when reality doesn't reflect back to you what you expected, you're frustrated. And I think that we just forget that there's only so much you can do. for other people, right? Like, you can't live somebody else's life. Like, the only people that I can think of that can do that are parents. Like, parents are the only people that can live another person's life, like their children, obviously, for a time at least, or, you know, to an extent, obviously, not too much. But it could be, sometimes it's selfish, sometimes it comes from ego, sometimes it comes from, you know, clinginess, desperation, etc., etc., etc. There's a number of reasons why we are that way, but I think that the most important aspect is even knowing that, like, even knowing that that is a problem, or even having the observation of it, because it's like they say, you know, you don't know something is a problem until you would, like, basically say that it is, or that you know it is. Because if you don't know something's a problem, you're never going to engage with it, you're never even going to try to solve it in the first place. And so we get so wrapped up in our preconceived ideas and biases and expectations of just life in general and of ourselves, that we forget that there are those inevitable aspects. Really, there's just those times where people just do things like that. Really, is the simple way to put it. Like, there would be so many times where I'd be helping somebody or talking to somebody, and they would be like, why though? Why did they say that? Why did they do that? Why this? Why that? And I would be like, dude, you know, people just do stuff and they don't even know why. Like, that's another really, I guess, underrated thing that we don't think about. Like, there's a lot of times where people don't even know why. People don't know why they do the things they do. Sometimes they just do them. Or even, it's not always so personal, right? Like, we like to think that, you know, everything another person does is because of us, which, again, is like how I said earlier, it can, that I feel like that's a very selfish way to think of things. Like, oh, well, they must have done that because of, you know, me, or because of something I did or whatever. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they are doing things regardless of ourselves, regardless of us. And we forget that. And I think that is where our frustrations come from. That is where we struggle so much, is because we just have this, like, perception of, I don't know, I guess, like, not possession, like we don't want to possess them or have them all to ourselves, but rather reality in of itself, where we expect so much. We expect so much of other people. We expect so much of life. We expect so much of ourselves, of everything. And it's not popular, at least nowadays, to tell people these kind of things. At least I think so, right? We live in the day and age where we're trying to be better, right? And what that looks like, apparently, is having, like, this just unreasonable level of, I don't even know what word to use, really. It's like we somehow expect everyone and everything to be, I guess, idealistic, or not perfect, but just a very particular way. And yet we cannot see how that in of itself is a result of our humanness. Like, it's, at least, I guess, like, it's like the saying, does the end justify the means, right? Like, we are so determined to have things a certain way, and we're so determined to have life a certain way, that we don't think about what it is we're doing in the process to get that. So that's off topic, though. I just wanted to come on here, talk about just those I guess uncommon things where, again, we just really don't we don't take the time to observe those things, right? Like, why is it that we even begin to have those frustrations, or why we even think that way or feel that way? And I think that hopefully our generation, Gen Z, will begin to, how would I say, change the cycle of suffering, that is. And so, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you have a good rest of your day.